Hey guys, welcome to RC Techworks, and today we are replacing the BangGood motor with this, the HobbyWing QuicRun brushless system. But before we do that, let's go run the BangGood system around the track one more time as a final send-off, and then we will replace it with this. Alright, so we are out here. We're gonna give the truck a little run just to give a little before we switch over to the new HobbyWing system. And do this two trucks because Blaine is going to be driving too. So we're gonna have some fun while it lasts. All right, let's get to it. Well, that didn't last very long, guys. The pinion set screw came loose and the pinion slid back on the motor. But now I got it fixed up, so it should be good to go again. I was messing around with gearing and stuff and then it put Loctite on it, so that's why it slipped off. All right, back to it. Alright guys, well, it no longer moves. The motor has, I think, overheated. We got a temp gun here that we're gonna poke in here. What does it read, Blaine? 200 degrees. And according to people online, that it should only be getting to around 160 to 170 is good temperature range. 200 is a bit much. So I will say the BangGood motor has officially died after around 2 years, which honestly is pretty good. Remember that combo was, oh man, I think it was $50 for the ESC and motor combo, and it lasted this long. I think that's pretty good, although it never really ran quite right. It always had startup lag and stuff too. All right, switching cameras here because my phone ran out of space. Like, I would get a solid 40 minutes of runtime out of a battery. I mean, it was very efficient, but now it can't even use the whole battery. It just gets too hot and stops working, I guess. So now we're gonna switch to the HobbyWing system and see if it fixes the startup lag and can make it around the track using a whole battery now. All right, let's open the HobbyWing QuicRun 120 brushless system combo. So on this side is the motor. Ooh, there it is, guys. Ooh, that is a big shaft. This has a 5mm shaft on it instead of the normal like 3.12mm shaft. But there it is. QuicRun 3660. G2 3700 kV. And this is the QuicRun 10BL120 G2. Slide this to open it. There it is. As you can see, it has the motor connectors here. So the motor just connects right into the ESC. Also in here, you get your setup table. There you go, for your different programs that you can put on your programmer. And so I would pick one of these up because you're most likely gonna wanna change some settings. And that would be something I would do once I get it set up. And then on here, they also give you some specs, the settings, and it should also have the values in here to change the settings in the ESC. It looks like no double-sided sticky. So keep that in mind that you will have to get that. All right, well, there's the first look. Let's get it into the truck. All right, the old ESC is out. So now we're gonna put the 10BL120 in. However, it is too long, which is what I kind of expected. As you can see, it is sitting right on that ledge there. And so I could cut this out, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to design and 3D print a little spacer to fit in here that this will sit right on top of. All right, so while the spacer is printing, I'm not gonna waste any time and get started hooking up the ESC and motor to see if everything works. So, first we gotta run the sensor wires and power wires into the receiver box. And it goes into channel 2. And make sure your black wire is on this side of the receiver and the white wire is over here. Then once you got that in, just close that up a little bit. All right, good enough. Okay, so now that's in. So let's get our motor here. Just plop it in there for now. And as you can see here, the motor wires are labeled A, B, and C. Same thing on here. And on this sensorless motor, it doesn't really matter other than you should have B connected to B. So I'll do that first. There's some nice tight fitting connections, that's good. Then I go to C, and then A to A. There we go. All right, now we need a battery. All right, nothing's smoking yet, so that's good. All right, now turn on my transmitter here. All right, so the first thing you want to do before getting or playing around with it at all is setting up your throttle limit controls. So to do that on this ESC, simply hold the set button, which is this black one, and then turn it on. Okay, keep holding it until it starts flashing red and the motor's making that beeping sound. And now make sure your transmitter is in the neutral position. Now, press the set button once. Now your neutral is locked in. Go to full throttle. Press it again. It'll beep twice. Now go full reverse and press it again. 3 times. And it says, okay, good. And now, there it is. Woohoo! Look at that thing go. Man, that thing sounds so quiet and smooth. Very nice. That is cool, guys. Now that we confirmed that it does work, I'm going to start installing the motor mounts to get the motor installed. But first, what we need to do is, because this is a bigger shaft, the other gear that I have will not fit on it. So I had to pick up this 5mm shaft, 8711 extra hard 11 tooth. It is a hardened steel gear made for these bigger shaft motors. There we go, that looks pretty good. I am happy with that position. However, I see the motor is extending out a little bit too far. It's just a little bit too long. So I'm gonna have to cut out this little section of the chassis here so the motor will fit down into the groove better. And also, I'm going to take these out, put Loctite on them so they don't come loose over time. All right, I ground this out a little bit with the Dremel. And now, when I put the motor in, it clears it. Look at that. So now I can tighten it down all the way and get the proper gear mesh. That's got some compression. All right, now I'm gonna go clean this up. All right, just need to let that dry. And I'm gonna be using this 3M double-sided tape. Ta-da! It is printed and I got the double-sided tape on it. So now, just gotta blaze it down, just like that. Ooh, that stuff sticks good. And now, oh, that's all dirty. Hold on a second. All right, got that cleaned off. So now let's see how crooked I can get this. Let's slide it down and, oh boy, this stuff's sticky. That shouldn't be going anywhere. If it does, like I said before, I can put some zip ties because I got holes in there for zip ties. Now it's time to do a little bit of cable management. Should be ready to go out and test it. Woohoo! Getting close, guys. All right, it is all installed. Got the motor in there, the ESC is in there, everything is wired up. So now what's left to do is to look at the program and probably change the LiPo cutoff, as well as maybe some other things, just to be on the safe side. All right, I got my program card here, and we're just gonna change a couple of settings before we go out and drive it. So, turn on my radio, and with the program card plugged in, thankfully it's right up here, and you don't have to unplug the fan like you did have to on the 60 amp G1 version. As you can see here, running mode. Number 2 is the cutoff voltage. Right now it is set on 3 volts, and I want to bump that up to number 5 because I want it to be on 3.2 volts. All right, number 3 is punch. I'm just gonna leave that where it is in the middle. Number 4 is drag brake force. This isn't a crawler, so I don't want to drag brake. Maximum brake force is next, and right now it is on 75%, which is fine. Next is max reverse force, and it is on 25%. And I'm gonna change that to 75%. Number 7, neutral range, that is fine. Number 8, timing. I don't really know what that stuff means, so I'm just gonna skip past that. And right now, next one is LiPo cells, and number 1, it's on auto. I'm just gonna leave that there. And number 10 is BEC voltage. This can do 7.4 volts. However, my servo is not rated for 7.4 volts, so I'm just gonna leave it here on 6 volts. Okay. So it's good to go, so we can shut it off. All right, let's go give this thing a drive. All right, we are outside, ready to give it a go. So first we're gonna do a couple of laps and get a temperature reading of the motor to see what the temps are getting at and if it's gonna need that heat sink on there or not. And then we'll just full send it, I guess. But let's see if that startup leg is fixed. All right, first takeoff here, guys. 3, 2, 1. Woo! That was a lot better. That was a lot better than, oh wow. Look at that, instant going. That is amazing. Look at that. There's no cogging or anything. It just goes. All right, one more time. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, that's pretty good. I think it is fixed, guys. All right, let's run a couple laps and get a temperature reading. 3, 2, 1, go. Holy cow. It has a lot more power now. It's handling this loose dirt like a dream. That last motor was struggling through this thick stuff. This is doing it no problem. Let's hit a jump here. Whoa! Holy cow. This thing flies. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Bruh, you're getting my truck all dirty. There we go. Oh, holy cow. I'm gonna have to learn how to do throttle control again. All right, and it looks like I need to print a new, holy cow. Rear body mount again. Shattered it. All right, here we go. Oh boy, where am I at? There we go. There we go. All right, it's been a couple laps, so let's go ahead and check the temperature of the motor. And the ESC came off, of course. There we go, around 90, 95.
It's like it.
Let me touch it. Oh yeah, it's not even warm, guys. That is amazing. But as you can see, landing that jump pad broke my rear mount here. So I have to do that, and looks like I will be zip tying the ESC down because, well, the sticky tape didn't hold it down.
All right, guys, there it is, the HobbyWing QuicRun G2 combo system. I gotta say, it is pretty nice compared to the old system that I had in here, which was the BangGood motor and the 10BL120 from HobbyWing. This is a huge improvement. The startup delay and startup torque is so much better, and the throttle response is amazing. Also, what's pretty cool about this motor is that it stays cool. And also, it has a 5mm shaft, so it's much more strong as well. Which, in the making of this video, since it has more power than the BangGood motor, and I will say, that was kind of what was nice about the BangGood motor, is it had enough power to have fun, but not so much that you destroyed stuff. Because making this video destroyed a lot of axles and stuff. I had to rebuild the diff and stuff, so yeah. But most of that was due to user error, me still learning the throttle control and all that stuff while in the air and landing incorrectly and stuff. Which I am going to increase the pinion gear size just to get a bit more RPM, because it is a bit hard to do flips because of
bro,
the...
Look,
what?
Apple just released the new method meal like 2 months ago.
Okay.
Like, it's such a big deal, bro.
Hold on, I'm in the middle of recording an outro. I'll talk to you in a little bit. Anyways, what I was saying was, basically, I don't have enough RPM to do flips. So, but I just need a bigger tip on there. Wait for the wind to pass here. Alright, so I need a bigger pinion gear on the motor so it will spin the tires faster. Plus, this motor stays so cool, it could definitely use a gearing up. And if I wanted to go even faster to the moon, I could run a forest battery in here if I wanted to. Which is like totally unreasonable, but anyways. I would highly recommend this system. Also, if you haven't watched the video of the BangGood system, go check it out because, well, that EC was pretty funny to watch because it lasted like a couple hours in between trying to get it to do stuff. But anyways, go watch that video and stay tuned because we are going to be refurbishing this truck here because it is 12 years old and it is getting pretty sloppy and it's due for an update. So stay tuned, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.